Hello! Today what we're going to do is look at the I Want My Travel booking engine, which is powered by GetThere. What I've already done is click the link to enter the login page for GetThere, which you will have been given in the documentation you received when you did a profile for us. So I'm just going to put my username in and password, and we're going to log in. And there's your login screen. We have made this incredibly simple, and that is the most important thing that you've got to understand at all times. There's not going to be a lot of pop-ups. There's not going to be a lot of you're out of policy. No, the whole goal of this is to make sure that people use it and want to use it. But what I'll do is I'll just show the first sort of splash page that we actually get. You can see here it says book travel, but above that we have a home, a profile, and manage trips. Over here, you can switch between English and Spanish. There's a help button here, which will actually take you off site, which isn't great, so don't really use that. And log out, there you go. At the bottom here, under more tools, if we go down and expand this, you can see arrange settings for my travelers, my arrangers, site preferences, Air Connect, not really. But here we do also have tutorials, and tutorials, these are actually ones that GetThere have created. So these are applicable to our use. So let's go on. Let's just bring this up and then we can see. We've got one here, new to GetThere, making a flight reservation, making a hotel reservation, making a car reservation, round trip, adding segments, ticket exchange, cancel and cancel online. Now, for this last one, you can do changes through GetThere if you want to. We normally prefer that if you're going to do a change that you email us so that we can keep a handle on the tickets, because what happens is with GetThere is because it's just a computer, it will just assume that there is one ticket in the reservation and it's going to issue a brand new ticket. But in effect, you may have another ticket sitting out there that we can actually apply to the trip to make it even cheaper than it actually would be, or use up funds. So on my little thing today, I'm just going to do a regular reservation. I have already completed a profile. Clicking on the word profile will bring up my information here, and there's personal information. We're going to add a credit card. We've got to make sure there's a credit card on the file. We're going to add, I've already added frequent flyer information. If I click on frequent flyer information, you'll see that I've got one here with American, United, BA, Marriott, National, Hertz, and so on. To get back from this, we're just going to click the word home. And it will always, this is one of the very few pop-ups that come up. It will always say, do you want to return to the home page? Because it thinks that you've already put some air, etc. on hold. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're just going to do a round trip reservation for, it's going to be me, for flight, hotels, and cars. Oh, if I go here on the more tools again and I click on my travelers, with you guys being arrangers, you could actually see my travelers by clicking on the my traveler button, and then they will come up if they've been linked. Okay. If not, you can click on add a traveler if you're responsible for somebody, and they will then be able, you will then be able to click through into their profile to make a reservation on their behalf. If you have trouble with this, please email Will at wv@iwantmytravel.com, and he can help with this and guide you through it. It is important for travel planners to be able to do this. And conversely, a traveler can actually identify a person who he wants, or they want, she wants, to be able to book travel for them. But me, this is a single person. This is all that I'm asking for. This is what will happen with you once you've clicked through to your traveler that's the one who's actually going. End of story. So here we go. We're going to do a round trip, flight, hotel, and car. We'll do it, say, let's do Dallas Fort Worth to Atlanta. Now, you'll see that when I begin to put the airport code in, it'll actually give you ideas for what you want to do, whether you know the airport code directly, which in this case is Atlanta, or it will say there's an Atlanta, Georgia, there's Nantes in France, there's Atlantic City, and so on. So That's the good thing. Anyway, we're going to leave the 24th at 7 in the morning, and we're going to come back the 27th about 5 o'clock at night. So we're going to do the thing, yeah? Our hotel, and this again is important, because many of the time you can fly into a city, but you may have to drive somewhere. So it doesn't automatically assume that you're going to stay in the area where you're going to fly to. And in this case, we're not. We're going to go to a place called Milledgeville in Georgia. And we want to check in the 24th and check out the 27th. So that's already been done. I'm now going to click on search. And what it'll do is it will give us a table of airlines. So first of all, there's the non-stops. Yeah. These are the one stops, in other words, connections, and two stops for such a small amount, such a small distance is irrelevant. You know, there wouldn't really be two stops. What we're seeing here are ultra low cost carriers. Again, all carriers are shown in our booking engine. These are to show price and what you physically can actually buy. But our passenger wants to go with, we're going to go with Delta on this one. And our flight here, Delta, leaving at 7 a.m. and gets in at 10:11. It's a non-stop flight. Life's good. I'm going to select it. Okay. And now it's saying, select the returning flight. Now above here, it's like saying, please consider one of the more less expensive itineraries to maximize your travel savings. So this is one of the few times that you'll get a little pop-up, but it's nothing that's stopping you from carrying on and making this reservation, because invariably the guys want, if they're Premier with Delta, they're going to get a free check bag, they're going to get a seat, they're going to get a host of other things, priority boarding, etc. The system can't think about adding that in. That's why you have quality control, i.e. humans, i.e. us, to look at all of this for you. Anyway, I wanted to come back about 5 o'clock. It's put the 5 o'clock one straight up. So that's good. We're selecting it. End of story. Okay. So now here we go. It's saying at this time you cannot select seats for this flight. Please push the continue button. And now what it's going to do is search for the hotel availability. Now, the reason why I picked Milledgeville is because we have 2 preferred hotels in Milledgeville already loaded in the system. And these are clearly shown by here. You see, preferred hotel property. So they will go up to be the first, and it will also show you a note as to what is included in the rate automatically. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to book the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Milledgeville. I need a king room, which is shown there, and I'm going to select it. It's processing the request. I'm now selecting the room. That's done. Now what I'm going to do is do a car, and the car type normally we do is an intermediate. Yeah. So we're going to start searching for a car. And here we go. Now we're going to, it comes out to be company preference first instead of cost. You can change that. But company preference means that you have an ID number with the company, and so it will show those first. I've got a national number, a Hertz number, and an Avis number. I'm actually going to pick the national car, and the reason is because we have a corporate code with that, which will actually reduce the rate. So national's the one to do for us. So here we go. So we've got a Delta flight here at $243.95. We have the hotel, which comes in with tax at $425.55, and I have a car here at $453. My traveler details are here. You can take my name down if you want to. I have, date of birth, gender. I don't have a TSA number put in here, even though I do one. I have frequent flyer numbers. I have delivery information. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do purchase trip. Now, clearly it shows here, ticketing will not occur until the agency does QA/QC on the booking. What that means is if we see something from a reservation that's coming through and we see something that's significantly cheaper, we are going to reach out back to you and say, is this right? What we're also going to do is we're going to modify the hotel. Maybe a negotiated rate wasn't taken, maybe the negotiated rate on the car wasn't taken, and so on. All of these will be added in the QA/QC process so that when we are good to go, you will see the best value for the thing, and that fare will actually be cheaper than the 1122.65. But that gives you a good rule of thumb as to say here how much that will cost. And then if we click on purchase trip, it will give us the record locator. You will get an email at that point in text version, not a final version. And the text version shows that the trip's on hold. And then the next one you will get will be a final trip, which will actually go over to Tripcase, and you will be able to see the invoice and the ticket number and all the rest of it. So that's it. Hopefully that was pretty easy. Again, if you want to go back and just do air only, you can just unclick that. If you just want the hotel, the negotiated hotel, you can do that. If you want to do multi-destination, it'll let you do multi-destinations, though we don't advise it if you were going over three flights, because again, it's a computer that's doing it rather than a human. Larger trips, just email them over to us. But yeah, it's a cute little program. We're pleased with it. It's very sturdy. It works well. It's directly linked into the computer system that we use. So as soon as you've pushed submit, we see it. It's instantaneous. There's no lag. It interfaces automatically with the Tripcase app. And so the person can actually see it in the Tripcase app. You'll be able to get you'll be able to see it as well. That means that Concur already has it. So yeah, life's good. So that's it. I'm logging out.